What is going on, peoples? So today I wanted to just jump in here because I know I have not been on every day like I usually do, but I've been working very hard getting the new free membership EMS SEO responder up on the main site. You can become a free member by going to ems2022.com. Lots of free study and review content there waiting for you. Again, it's 100% free. I've actually got a bunch of new stuff I'm adding now for April. So each month I'm going to be building upon it. But right now, I think there's about maybe 50, 60 pieces of content there that I think you will benefit from. So what I wanted to talk about today, guys, is a little bit about the skills, especially National Registry skills. Or the reality is, this is something that applies to just your basic day to day patient assessment, right? There's an etiquette that goes on, and this is etiquette that I even expected from my partners when I work with them also. So, and this is something I think that when you get these evaluators, right, the NREMT evaluator, even your evaluators in your class, that can kind of piss them off a little bit if you don't do this stuff. Okay, so I want to cover this real quick because I think it's going to help you and even relieve some of your stress with the skills exams, because it's going to kind of take away an element where you're not kind of frantically, stressing out all of a sudden because you don't do this. And again, this is for even regular patient assessment. So the two main one, guys, is to bring a watch and bring a pen. Now, I know a lot of people go, that's just common sense, right? But I have seen so many people walk into skills exams without having a watch or a pen. Have a watch on your wrist. Hopefully, it's the one that's got the second hand. If not, if it's got a digital sort of, counting seconds digitally, that's fine as well. But just got some way for you to look at your watch and be able to feel and count a pulse, respirations, stuff like that, and see how much time has passed. And you want some sort of a pen to write with. Even if you're not planning on making any notes in this skill or whatever, you want to even just assign your name when you walk into the thing, right? Have the pen. You don't want to seem like this unprofessional person where you walk in, you don't have a pen, and you have to ask the proctor or the evaluator, oh, do you have a pen that I can borrow? Listen, you don't want to come off like that, like you're not prepared, you're not a professional, right? They're going to be thinking, what, you didn't realize that you might have to write something down at some point. So I've seen it too many times, guys, and I've seen so many people that go into the skill station and they get to a point like that when they have to take a pulse, right? And what do they start doing? They're taking a pulse and they're looking around for a clock on the wall to help them, count the seconds or some other sort of timing device there. All right, so get that watch. All right, you almost I've done sessions with people and they don't have a timing device, and I want to say, didn't you have any idea you were going to have to take a pulse or count respirations, or nobody told you you'd ever have to have that in a skill station, right? It's almost like you're just lackadaisy about it, like you don't care if you're going to pass or not. So don't come into that mentality, right? If you walk into a room without a wristwatch on your hand and you know that part of that skill is going to be taking a pulse on a victim, just say, I don't want to pass. I'm good. I don't mind if I pass or fail, right? Walk into it, all right, guys, with the pen and the watch. The same goes when you're doing your patient assessment out in the field as well. Don't be asking your partner for a pen. Don't be asking your partner for a watch to help you take the heart rate, okay? Yeah, we all have automatic stuff now that tells us the heart rate and stuff like that, right? But don't count on that stuff, guys, all right? Be sure you go ahead and get a watch or a pen. Now, one other thing too, guys, when you're into these sessions and all, don't be looking for calculators. All right. When you're taking a pulse, you're either taking a 15-second 15-second pulse and multiplying it by 4, or you're doing it for 30 seconds and you're multiplying it by 2. If you're not sure how to do that before you go to the skill, do your 4s tables and your 2s tables ahead of time so you can mentally memorize that calculation, so you know that X times 4 is going to give you this per minute, this many beats per minute, and X times 2 is going to give you this many beats per minute. Okay, so just keep that stuff in mind. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, guys, and this goes for your day-to-day on the ambulance as well, is being familiar with equipment. All right. So you should be able, when you walk into the skill station, is to ask the proctor, the evaluator, before you start doing any skills, is it okay that I can go ahead and set up the equipment the way I want before I start? Can I go ahead and familiarize myself with the equipment that's there? All right. So now, if there's anything there that they don't want you to touch because they want you to kind of go through it during the skill, they'll let you know. But most of the time, they'll let you go ahead and look at it. All right. They shouldn't have things buried on you in a kit so that you can't see it ahead of time, especially if you've never seen that piece of equipment before. Maybe it's a different oxygen tank, right? Don't just take it for granted as an oxygen tank. I know what to do. Go ahead and crack it open. Get familiar with how that tank or that regulator might work. Okay. Listen, I've taken some skills recently where a lot of equipment was there. I was kind of new to the organization, and they let me go ahead and look inside the bags, looked inside the oxygen bag, look inside the airway bag to get me familiar with what was going to be there. So if I needed it during the skill, I had a clue as what was going on, right? Now you can't sit there and study every little piece and know every single thing, but I think that just familiarizing yourself with some of the equipment that's there is going to help you with that. But again, ask permission, touch that equipment, get your hands on it, all right, and put it the way you want it. So you want to make it perfect for you so that when you're doing the skill, you don't start scrambling around for a blood pressure cuff or scrambling around for a pen light, all right? Don't be afraid to put your hands on it, especially, like I said, if you've never seen it before, all right? If it's, let's say, like I said, their oxygen tank, don't assume it's going to work the same way, all right? Go ahead and make sure that it works, okay? Crack it open and test it, see how it actually goes and how it works, all right? Put the airways on the side of the mannequin head even, all right, where you want them, okay? Whatever it takes, whatever it's going to get you set up for that station, go ahead and do it, all right? Make it your station, make it perfect, all right? And the instructors and the evaluators, proctors, whatever you want to call them, they should be giving you ample opportunity to go ahead and do that, unless, like I said, there's a specific reason why they don't want you to do that. So, guys, I hope that makes some sense, all right? Again, this also applies to when you're working out in the field as well, right? Nobody wants a partner or nobody wants to see a paramedic or an EMT fumbling around for a pen light, fumbling around, not knowing how equipment works, fumbling around for a wristwatch to count a patient's heart rate or a patient's respiratory rate, or looking for a pen to document something, okay? Because that can be irritating, number one. Number two, it makes you come off that you're not professional, you're not prepared and ready to do the patient care that you're there to do. So I'm going to end it there, guys. Like I said, go check out the EMS SEO Responder membership, 100% free. It's at EMS2022.com. And I'm going to do some more tips and some techniques on skills. I don't want to make these videos too long, but what I'm going to do next time is talking a little bit about questions that you can ask or that you shouldn't ask. It's sort of a double-edged type sword. And I want you to go ahead and kind of get some tips on that. I'm going to try to jump in here tomorrow and do a video on that. And I think that's going to bring some clarity into it as well on some of the better questions that you can be asking the proctor when you go into it, okay? And that how those questions kind of come off and make you in the proctor's eyes, whether you look confident, confused, scared, or you have no clue what the hell you're doing. So I'm going to cover that tomorrow, guys. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. Go again, EMS2022.com. Get yourself a free responder membership there. As always, guys, I'm Jim Hoffman from EMS SEO. Stay safe.